print, 39-hour print.
Mm-hmm. Yes. The support structures really didn't come out too well. I did some finicking with those to try and save some material. And yeah, that did not work out. Keep your supports at the original size. Don't try and skimp on it.
That's why I don't trust the I like MFJ.
Back feet.
No, whenever the YouTube comes up, it always goes back to that first one.
Oh yeah.
It just defaults to that one. Well, cool. Yeah, I've used the heck out of mine, and I think Chad's getting there. Have you used it more recently since you made all the stuff for us?
No, that was just this. I started that Friday afternoon, and it was done Sunday afternoon. Or actually, I had to restart it Friday night because this happened. This is a 1/4-inch thick plate, and kind of see where you're on. I'm gonna take that stupid background back off. See where it's bowing there? Yeah. That is 1/4-inch. This part right here is 1/4-inch thick, and it bowed it like a canoe. Yep. Because I put the infill at 65%. What? Don't do that. That's a bad call.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once that infill started to cool down, it just shrunk that up and just sucked it in. I could not believe that. And then, just a little tap, it came delaminated from the heated bed. So I reduced the infill by 20% and reduced the bed temperature by 10 degrees C. And the next one came out absolutely flat bottom, perfect. But
that's the kind of fiddling you have to do with these things.
It's all by degrees. I mean, it really does matter. And it matters on the dimensions that you're printing too. Something like this with a whole bunch of base to it, because they needed that mass and that stability. Because this thing was holding, a pound of copper up top. And who knows what else that glass apparatus over time. Like, I really don't want it to sag in, 6 months.
Yep. So what are you wanting to build with your 3D printer, Sam?
Well, I don't know. I guess, this goes back like almost 20 years. I invented a, I won't get into a lot of details, but I invented a trailer lock, and I did 3D drawings of the parts. And at the time I paid this company up in Tulsa. They were at Tulsa Tech, rented space at Tulsa Tech up there.
Oh,
went up there and they made plastic prototypes for me. Basically it wasn't, it was similar to this, except what theirs did is basically they had this tube full of acrylic, and they put a string down in it, and then this laser reached in, and wherever the laser touched, made the acrylic hard. And 4 hours later, they pull the string out, and there's my parts. Cost me $800 each for these parts. I had to make four parts for me, and $800 a piece. And so, it's something I just think is pretty cool. And now I can do it. I could have done the same thing here for nothing, really.
Do you have the STL files for that?
Oh yeah.
You could.
Of course, I've also been making them for over 15 years now, and having them cast in stainless steel. So these were just prototypes to make sure everything fit and worked and everything. But I don't know, when you are making stuff, well, it's like that little case you made for Peter, for his battery thing. It's just, the sky's the limit. Just, if you can draw it. And, that's why I was asking you about the 3D. I've got 3D TurboCAD. I haven't even put it on this new computer, but I one time at least was pretty good at 3D CAD, and I don't know how you get it into the printer.
You'll output that as an STL file instead of an STP, and then your slicer program will just import that STL native. But on my slicer, it likes metric. So if you author the file from start to finish as a metric part, you'd end up a lot better.
Okay.
And just instead of exporting it as an STP, just type an STL file and it
Right.
should be able to do that just the same, but that's most slicers can take that natively and then it'll just render it. And you can add your supports at that process or tell it, I want to print this section with this print head or that print head if you have those options. And then you go to the print, and that's where you actually say you'd move at this speed, you feed at this speed, you do it at this temperature, you have a base, a infill, whatever you do. And then that generates the G code that like a regular old CNC would use. And mine exports a .gz file, but that's what the printer natively reads. But it's literally G code.
Okay. And then let me ask while we're on the subject, there's different types of filament. There's SLA and
PLA, ABS. I use PLA for most of my prints. PETG, I was using a lot with the medical stuff just because it's more chemically inert, but it can't handle heat. It's brittler. It's got a lot of other things, but it can handle the chemicals that you would need to disinfect things like face mask shields and stuff.
right.
But the PLA works pretty good. PETG strings a lot because it's like a polyester. PLA I use because it's biodegradable. It's not true plastic. ABS is actual plastic. But you can take that ABS, and I got one of those little 3D print pens and I fill that with ABS. I can actually fuse weld parts on cars and stuff with that. Like I had a trim panel come off my truck, and the little peg that held it into the clip came undone. Well, stuck a little hot plastic to it, and that sucker has never came undone since. So you can use it like a little plastic MIG welder if you get the right plastic blend.
What I got on my screen is the slicer program, and it
There it
takes
is.
the piece that you had would be an STL file, and it loads it up into what I show here, and you can zip it around and look at the whole thing.
Okay.
When I'm printing these, I actually cocked it at a 45, and I could load 2 of them on the deck. So that deck image
We're
is
stacking 3.
Are you?
Yeah.
And you can do 2 of. I was doing 2 of them, and then what you can do is hit a slicing piece where it'll actually go through and slice the thing, and it cuts it into little horizontal slices, and then you can.
That's your print layers.
Now this is something that comes with the printer, the software.
Or you can download, there's many versions. You can buy one, you can get the free open source ones. There's all sorts of different programs out there.
Okay.
And some work better with others.
Which is a good printer to buy nowadays?
The one I showed Sam was Creality is what where's that at?
It's called an Ender 3, ENDER numeral 3. And
I have a Flash Forge Inventor, which is really great, except it just seems to be a Flash Forge product. That one's the one where Cura is, one of the more open source kind of programs that can go with all the other printers. Does not have Flash Forge printers in its list of drop down hundreds of printers to choose from. And I'm just, I don't know why they don't have that.
Proprietary.
Right, exactly. That's where I ended up, but this one was also TLDR given to me for free as it was broken.
Yeah.
And I fixed it.
Yeah. This one is $200. I've got what I use is a Prusa, and that was the granddaddy. That's the one that started all this stuff. It's fine. It's about a $700 deal. It's full kit. Just, put the whole thing together. I think it took me a couple hours to put it together, maybe 4 hours. And this one is like 20 screws that comes with it to put it together. But if you use it more than just a little bit, you're going to be putting new heads on it and tearing up a wire and doing something weird. So having that big open frame is nice.
There
to
are
do that.
also filaments that can destroy your print head.
Yeah.
That will just chew it up. You can get stuff that has carbon fiber like infused in it and metals infused in it, and that will just chew a brass head up.
Right.
They got ruby tipped heads, all sorts of stuff.
Wow. Well, that Dremel I was looking at, I think only used PLA. I think it was the only filament it would use. And
There's also heat limitations that some of the higher end units can only get to for those stronger plastics. Specifically, I think the carbon fiber needed like 30 degrees higher than what mine can do.
This ender will go to carbon fiber. It'll run a carbon fiber.
Right. So yeah, it's something to at least keep in mind whenever you guys look into something like this. Am I going to be wanting a really strong print with something like carbon fiber? Then make sure you get a printer that can go up to those
So you
temps.
say this Ender 3 will do carbon fiber?
Correct.
Does it come with a stainless steel print head option?
I don't know what it comes with.
But would one just natively fit to it?
Yeah, they're all the same. They all use that same head, and all that stuff's on eBay. I buy heaters by a pack of 10. You know, you just the little heater's got 2 wires on it, and I think they're $1 a piece. So the heaters, like I said, Ken built one out of pieces for $40.
What is that, Mark? That driver for the stepper motors? There was one specific that was like a Cadillac.
Oh yeah.
Versus like they'll use this one on the X and Y, but the cheaper version on the Z, where it might be advantageous to swap that one Z out with the final one.
Right, and that's why I bought that Prusa, because it had all of those up to speed. The Z doesn't need as much resolution because it's a screw and it turns a lot more than the other ones do.
Mark, I just posted a link to this other one I found on Amazon. It's $100 more, but it's got the glass plate and etc.
Oh, let's go look at that. So yeah, the glass plate for his. That's it's from Sane Smart. Okay, they do a lot of good stuff. He bought a glass plate for his cheapie, whatever he bought, and he said, "Man, that made all the difference. You just turn it on. You use a glue stick, and then you just turn it on and leave the house. It just takes off and runs."
I find using Aquanet works pretty good.
Yeah.
It's Aquanet and Windex.
Yep. I mean, it depends what you're doing. I've got by mine here. I've got acetone. I've got alcohol, acetone, Windex, and some of that stuff cleans up better with one or more of those things. But this one is for a good 220 by 220 by 250. Creality's got a bigger one for about $1,000 that is physically bigger sized, but it's not as fine a resolution. So unless you need the bigger size, I'd stick with this kind of thing.
Well, how long does they? Well, hello.
Hello.
Hey,
she's cute.
Oh yeah, she knows it too.
They figured it out really young.
Yes. Oh, no. She's reaching for the laptop.
How long is the school of?
Yeah. We got a while to go on that one.
So how much of a spool did that 38-hour print take?
200 grams. About what was it?
Tenth of a kilogram. So tenth of a spool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like 205 grams out of a kilogram. So
the neat thing is that
1/5 of a spool.
That slicer will tell you. Let's see, on the slicer image that I had here, it says 17.92 grams or meters, 17 meters. And
mine has a calculator that you tell it what filament you're using, and it will calculate that in grams. But yeah, you got to tell it what filament. I mean, even this little base here is just really dense and is just chunk of plastic.
So everything I'm looking at has 1.75 filament. Is that kind of an industry standard?
That's
Yeah.
diameter.
Right.
That's diameter.
Yeah,
Minus that goofy 3D print pin, which uses a 1.82, which, yeah, is just wonderful. Again, a little piece of proprietary action that they did.
Yeah.
So what's the learning curve on learning how to use one?
It's more the learning on CAD.
CAD's big. For printing stuff, it's more getting it stick that first time, and it's temperatures and speeds is the big thing. How to get it going and
But a lot
make
of that's documented too.
Oh, yeah.
You know, even just little tips and tricks to try, you know, on if it doesn't quite work, only bump it up by 5 degrees. Don't go crazy. You know, bump your feed rates and your spacings up by, you know, 0.5 millimeter at a time, stuff like that.
It's like any other manufacturing project. The first one you print is perfect. You say it's never going to be any better. Then you pull out the little the little scope, and you go, "Oh wait, how come rows 1 through 3 are really squished, and then the rest of them are all spread out really weird?" Or man, there's some water in the filament. You can see here where the water damage comes out of the thing, and
you know, one where I forgot to put the little feed tube through the heating block. And I was printing along with some clear filament, and all of a sudden, just a big old blob of charred black just came out from the side. I'm like, what is this? Oh, there's a little feed tube that's supposed to go. Right, gotcha.
What's that smell?
You're right. It really did end up to be one of those, but we got that cleaned up, no problem.
Yeah. So it's more of a patience kind of thing. It will tend to print fairly well out of the block, but the more crazy things you kind of try for get you in trouble. And,
follow the 45-degree rule too. If it's over 45-degree angle, give it some supports.
Right. Yeah, like this piece that I'm showing runs up at a 45-degree, and it will build without any problems.
Mm-hmm. But if you go any steeper than that, you'll need you'll need some kind of supports, and they do it themselves. They'll come up to a really fine point and give it just enough area to get that bridge going across. And then once you get the bridge going, then they can build on that. But it's just to get that initial bridge over, you know, a wide space. But you can also trick it, and like if you can pinpoint that exact layer that would start at, you can say move twice as fast and just get me a really skinny little tiny bridge, but again, something. There's all sorts of little coding tricks, but that's where you're getting into, you know, kind of editing the G code.
You know, all these ads on Amazon, they always show us like egg, this big hollow egg, lattice egg.
Mm-hmm.
Every company shows it at some point.
It's kind of a trickier print. Try and print that egg.
Yeah.
Try and just print that sucker and you'll see. I tried to print a vase one time. Don't put a vase in vase mode. That does not work. It's a whole different thing than what it sounds like. It's like, hey, I'm printing a vase. Yeah, of course I want it in vase mode. No, it will print a skin of a vase on the inside and out, and it will just crumple if it even makes it.
With no nothing
no infill, nothing. Yeah. Like that's pretty weird to call it vase mode. I would call it, you know, hollow, nothing, print, no infill, something like that. But
I'll tell you, $25 a spool for this.
It lasts. You get quite a bit.
It's good. You don't want to waste it though.
Yeah. The thing that I've been looking into is machines that would reclaim this, and unless y'all want to go in on something, the machine to reclaim and process and spit out our own filament, that's like a couple of grand. Like just for the cheap seats, right? Like you would think that would be something that we could make, but yeah, it's quite the process and quite the little machine to do it.
I'll give you a chipper. You can run it through that, but it wouldn't really do it.
Yeah, no, that's like step one. They get it ground down really fine, but it's the extruder and to heat it.
But there is a machine that'll let you recycle that stuff?
Yes, there is.
I'm glad to hear that because it always seemed to me pretty wasteful,
It really is.
especially
But-
if you had a lot of those support pieces that you just
Mhm.
yeah.
Exactly.
I don't end up using a lot of support stuff, Chad. Do you? I mean, there's
This
specifics.
on this print, I really had to because I had a lot of just absolute square flat sections that needed to come in.
Yeah.
There was no real way around it. And you can really tell that in the sections that the supports didn't make it, it looks like doo-doo, but it did, end up all right. A few steps up, but for, putting in almost 39 hours into a print, I really wish that didn't happen because that was ridiculous.
Just 39 hours.
Yeah, just 39 hours.
Okay.
So this
It was-
chipper, does it just grind it up fine and you dump it in a hopper and it remelts it?
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Let's see if I can find that again.
Probably extruding it out at that
Uh-huh.
at 1.75 is probably the hard part.
Yeah.
1.75.
That's the thing in
constant.
maintaining that constant, with a good consistent flow, with no air bubbles, no nothing.
Because the computer uses that knowledge that thing is perfectly cylindrical when it calculates what has to go in there. So it's you get some variations in some of that stuff, or you stretch it, and you can cause some problems.
I used to have this friend that was into plastic recycling, and he had this chipper shredder he got from Sears. That was the first step. He'd throw milk cartons and whatever, milk
Right.
jugs. Yeah.
Gentlemen, I give you the Philibot. Check the chat. $11,000.
Is that buy two?
Yeah, and that's
got
that's the full rig. But that's not the chipper. But they do have just the extruder and not the coiler and straightener. But yeah, let's see what they got for. There's a large formatting. There's a spooler.
Well, there's one down here for 10,900.
Right? But yeah, I think I'm not even sure if they sell the chipper here.
So
But
you
yeah,
just
see how it's got the air cooling bed where it straightens it and then
throw your
spools it
little
for you.
cartons in there and take off, huh?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
2-liter bottles.
it's used. It only takes in used filament, right? Not just generic. Yeah.
I would
okay.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and you got to see it where it chops it all up and
Because
Okay,
if you could throw a milk bar, that'd be cool.
I mean, if you can
At
shred it down.
Yeah. Well, if it's the right
And then-
material, it's a problem.
What is that? KSI shredders? MSI shredders?
But at $22 a roll, that'd be a lot of filament that you have to go through.
Yeah.
Let's see, 11,500 per $22 a roll, and you can get it cheaper. That's 500. You'd have to do 500 spools of stuff before.
Oh,
you
yeah.
broke even.
If you were a prototyping shop, though, you've got
Oh yeah.
PLA up to your ankles at the end of every day, right? So.
Well, you shouldn't if you're. I mean,
Yeah,
Well,
here we
no,
go.
yeah, you're right. You shouldn't, but you do
CM
anyway.
Industrial shredders. Let's see what they got. The
probably-
Solo single shaft. These are the ones that can chew up a BMW bug.
I've probably only wasted. I mean, golly, half a pound or something. Not
And they
very
sell it
much.
in 1 pound spools. It's an issue.
Yeah. I mean, I've got probably 10 spools in the rack right now. And that's what, 2 kilos each probably. So, or a kilo each. So 10, 20 pounds of that stuff. And I've probably gone through 20 or 30 of them, but not 520 of them. Not yet.
Right? I love that I can just make a toy for the kid. Just at any given point. Like, oh, you want a new toy? Or here you go.
Yeah,
Give me a
39
couple
hours later.
Yeah, 39 hours later.
No.
Patience is also part of this lesson.
I just don't have any expensive hobbies, so I need something else, you know. to run
Right?
my
Yeah.
money.
Yeah. We're all talking about
Yeah.
an expensive hobby is skeet shooting.
I do that. Oh,
Right.
Especially when you get into story.
Ready to pair.
Start buying story shotguns. Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
no. In fact, I haven't shot skeet in a few years. I don't know where to go anymore.
Tri-City.
Tri-City's got a good setup.
Really?
Yeah.
They've got 5-stand now.
I was in a club out here at Banner, and we had teams, and it was a lot of fun. And then I had to have my chest cut open, and doctor said no shotguns for a year or so. So
Now, why did you
Oh,
do
yeah.
that? Was that elective surgery or?
I wouldn't.
Well, I mean, yeah, it was. We do this or you die, so I elected to do it. Yeah,
So,
Seems
So,
reasonable.
you're a member of the Zipper Club.
yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually 17 years next week.
Oh
Yeah.
my.
Mark, what you got there?
That is a bug catcher antenna coil. These are the thing. If you go to Thingiverse, Thingiverse,
They got all sorts of cool prints. I love Thingiverse.
and you could just go crazy here. It's
Control
just
C,
nuts.
Mark. I saw that.
30th of August, Lee. 17 years. So
Control C, Control V.
Yeah,
Yeah, my left hand is in front of the
This is
microphone.
2020. 2020.
There you go. My left hand's in front of the microphone. I can't get to the control.
Windows 10.
But this is a
Speaking of 2020, did you hear the newest horror? Pepperoni shortage.
oh my gosh.
Pepperoni gives me indigestion.
Okay, so I can have your quota?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Can I get your quota of Canadian bacon, though? That's the real
Yes.
question.
Yes.
All right. Boom. We got a deal. Because that's what I
And-
always do. I order my Supreme Pizza, hold the pepperoni, extra Canadian bacon in its place, please.
And I'll take real bacon, thank you.
That's good. It's sliced ham, damn.
What have you got there, Ken?
Boy,
What is it?
Etch a sketch.
That's what I was thinking too.
It is. There you go. It's a big freaking display for my CS 800.
Oh, you bought one.
Oh, hey, there's the cuts. What do we got
And
there?
It's plug and play. That sucker just plugged in and
It's
worked.
pulling up
Really?
beef cuts.
Anyway,
You know, I've never plugged mine in. I need to see if it works.
No, your cuts of meat.
if
Right.
you're fairly current on your firmware, and you probably just plug in and go. Anyway, I like that. It worked good.
Can you?
Yep.
Is your radio near you? Can you demo it, or is it in your truck? Or
No, it's over here. I can.
because that would be much cooler if it lit up.
While he's doing that, you want to see my new oscilloscope?
I don't
here's
know. We're
why.
gonna see here.
Okay, you're gonna make me.
What? Hold on. Who's
Oh, hey.
Ron? We got to
Together,
everybody pin Ron. What are you doing, Ron? Whoa. What is that called?
You can adjust it.
What's his frequency response?
Oh, it's not the greatest. 32 hertz.
32 hertz?
20.
20 hertz.
Killer.
Kilohertz. There it is.
Anyway, they had all the surface stuff done for me, but I had through all the stuff.
You gotta get closer to a microphone, Ron.
Got a lot of back feed.
Yeah.
Say, Lee.
Hang
A
on.
lot of glare there, Ken.
Yeah, I know. I got to turn overhead light off.
Hey, PK stuck in. Hi, PK.
No. Might show. No, this camera is so bad
Super bright.
on this laptop. That's not going to be a deal.
That's too bad.
Anyway, but it's real easy to read. It actually gives a VFO capability to the radio, which it did not have before. And it's if I had an 857, a Yaesu 857, it would also operate that. And they're promising some additional updates for other radios. I hope 7300's on their list, on the top of their list, but I don't know that. And it's just much easier to see and use compared to the two postage stamp size screen that comes with the base radio. So anyway.
Okay, Ken, I just plugged mine in.
We have a Super Bowl situation going with the echo. And on the 50-yard line,
I'm going to turn my speaker down here a lot.
Maximum volume.
We heard that. Test.
Echo. Where's that coming in?
looks like Mark Clayton. Maybe.
It's not me.
No, it's not. Okay,
I think it's Ron.
Now it's gone away.
Because Ken muted.
Oh, it's coming out of Ken.
It's coming out of Ken's.
I think so.
Is it Mike?
Been zooming for months now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey, Ken?
Yeah.
Ken?
Okay,
what's up, Bill?
There we are.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, Bill.
Hello, Ken.
Hello.
And everybody.
Hello.
Can you hear me now? Is it echoing?
Nope.
Oh, it's better now.
Well, I had an external speaker that's probably got just enough delay in it.
Oh.
Anyway,
That's
it's a little Bluetooth thing. So
Got
took
it.
that off.
Got it.
Anyway, Sam,
Ken,
did
I
you come up?
plugged mine in. You forced me
Did
to
it
get
work?
mine out of the box.
Sir?
And I plugged it in, and it's not plug and play on mine. So,
Not. Uh-oh.
no,
Now you have to hold the power switch down for a full 6 seconds.
What the heck? Is that normal every turn on?
Well, when it turns on, it's about 4.5 on mine. They say 6, but you can actually, it'll look like it turns on, but it doesn't really. If you don't hold it down long enough for everything to boot.
You are right. It is. It's weird because when I turned the power onto the radio, the screen came on.
Yes, it does.
But then you still have to push the power button to get it to actually.
And like the radio itself, you have to give it enough time to get into the boot.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think I'm going to like it.
I've just got a little bitty cable on it. I don't know. Can you all?
Well, I've got to build a stand for it, but that's nothing.
Sounds like something for the 3D printer.
It would be.
Or just a
There
piece
you
of flat
go.
aluminum folded over at an angle. Drill 4 holes.
Take all the fun out of everything.
Well, you know.
So anybody want to buy this?
Technology too. Now what do you do with that? I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're right. You know, I really want to have this on the radio here in the shack. And
Yeah, that's where I'm going to use mine, but
Yeah.
I haven't got around to thinking about putting this in the car. So
well, I bought two. I bought two of the radios, one for the shack and one for the car, and I've
Right.
not put the car one in. So
anyway, I'm liking it, and it's right now it's $50 off, so it was like $1.50. I think they started out at 150, didn't they? I think they went up to 200.
Don't remember.
What are you guys talking about?
BFD
Things.
for
Okay.
CS 800.
So I've got a question for the group here, and I expect everybody to have the same answer. Okay.
Yeah.
Right
ahead.
now, when I'm not using either of my two radios here in the shack, I unhook the coax and I throw it out the window. You know, that's my lightning
Yes.
protection. That's everything. It just lays outside on the
Number one lightning
not on the
protection.
ground. And
Air gap.
makes it a real pain though when I want to get on the air. I gotta open the window and use a coat hanger to fish the cable in through the window and etc.
Tie a rope on it.
Yeah, I got a little gap in my bricks where the seal comes in,
Yeah.
and it sits right perfect just in that little corner.
Sam, I got a solution for you.
Okay.
I've got a friend that's been doing amateur radio for 60 years, lives in Mountainburg, Arkansas, and he gets a lot of lightning strikes up there. And he has about, 6 cables that come in the window. And he says the solution for that is a mason jar. He unscrews his cables, he sticks them in the mason jar and sets it on the floor.
I got a different use for the mason jar.
Got to get the moonshine out.
It works.
I've been told that, but then somebody else said, if that lightning hits that cable, it's just that jar is just gonna explode. So
yeah, I've heard the explosion part too.
He's never had a problem with it.
I'd like to see how that would work out. What's the path to ground on that?
When you're
I like mine outside the house.
when you're using that mason jar, don't
I
put
bought
it
some
over.
of these.
There you go.
There you
Bought
go.
a couple of those to put on there eventually somehow. But I really would just like to come down here and turn on the radio and talk sometimes.
I've done that for
Put your lightning
35
protectors
years.
on
Just
there and
leave
buy
it plugged in.
insurance from ARRL.
Yep. I've left mine plugged in, and I use one of those ISO, whatever they are, the polyphasers, where if it shorts out, if it gets any high voltage, it just shorts out.
And
What
Sam,
about a high gain beam in the attic pointed
think
towards
about
the
this.
repeater?
A lightning strike is hotter than the face of the sun.
Yeah, if
So
you take a direct strike, you're
mason
screwed.
jar is not going to do anything.
Yeah, but you're
He just
screwed
has-
then anyway.
He just hasn't gotten hit.
Yeah.
That's kind of my attitude.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like to figure out some way.
That's
And
an
the
old
other
wife.
thing is I'm screwing coax on, and off and on all the time. And I don't know. I also bought, let's see if I can get this in the camera.
Yeah.
Bought that little critter that I can put in this neutral position. So I'm basically disconnecting the antenna from the radio.
It doesn't have the air gap though.
Well,
And you got, things like this, like Peter had up. It has a little, thing here. It has a glass.
yep,
fuse
I've
in
got
it,
two of
so
those
forth.
sitting here.
Yep. Put that right where it comes in the house. Put a
Yeah.
ground
it's-
wire outside, and you'll never have a problem.
Are those
If you take a
protecting your
direct
desk
strike-
from lightning? Lee and Peter, those are now protecting your desk from lightning.
Yeah. This could end up being shrapnel.
If you take
Is
a
it
direct
45
hit, you're screwed.
caliber or a 43 special? Or 44 special?
Well, the other thing I bought was Mark up at the Radio Shack sold me this switch, and it does have the air gap in it. It's supposedly when you put it in the middle, it goes to. It's actually got a ground that you can send it to. So I'm just it takes me longer to get set up to talk than it does to talk. So
If you use something like this,
That
And-
chocolate bar?
a couple of good ground rods,
yeah.
and have all your equipment running to it, that's your best source right there.
Okay.
Because it's big, it's heavy duty. This is what they put outside of buildings and run along buildings that have lightning, rods on them to actually take it to ground. And it's a huge braid thing, but it works.
I used to work at the Xerox plant out here on I-40, and we got lightning hits all the time on our towers.
Mhm.
And all the panels were bonded with stuff like you just had up there, Lee,
Yep.
to the steel girders.
Yep.
And the steel girders had this. They put in this ground system with when they poured the footers, and they were all bonded to that. And we would get hit by lightning, and it would leave a burn mark about the size of a quarter. That's how much damage it would do.
And we can get Mark to get his equipment out, and we can weld this. I'm trying to remember the name of it. Mark, what's it called? Thermal weld?
Weld to the ground rod.
Exothermic welding is
Yeah.
what you can do.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That works.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, I've heard the little clamps are problematic unless you take them off all the time and clean them and check them and tighten them. And so, I mean, I've got ground rods, but I've got ground rods for grounding the equipment, not lightning type grounding. I mean, there's all sorts of different grounding. Yeah.
Peter's got his 2020 handbook for grounding.
There you go.
Well, I got this one.
Yeah. Grounding stayed the same over the years.
Yeah.
Except for maybe some of the equipment that they brought out to use,
Yeah, this one talks a lot. To me, it spends most of its time talking about like bonding or grounding your equipment for noise and, that type of grounding, not lightning type grounding.
Right, that's station grounding,
It all
yeah.
serves the same purpose. If you've got a good system ground, it's going to help you in many ways.
Oh, yeah.
You could be like Denny. He had a lightning strike and now has all new equipment. That's the insurance company bought him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that came in through the phone line.
That's right.
Maybe even a new house.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's my big thing. I mean, the equipment I can replace. It's the house it's in that I don't want to lose.
Yeah.
So
Peter,
nobody,
how far does that ARRL insurance go? Just the equipment? That's only?
no, it used to not cover antennas specifically, and they changed that probably 10 years ago now.
It doesn't cover your house.
It does not cover your house, but it does cover your antenna, your feed line, your computer, and anything, antenna, your radio, and pretty much anything connected to it, including your PC. So,
I've read things that talk about if your antenna gets hit and that's what burns your house down, your homeowner's insurance may get funny with you. Have you all heard that?
I've not, but the insurance company's job is to deny your claim. So
They're going to do whatever they can do.
whatever they can do. Yeah. So my mic was muted before. I bought one of these, the new one. And so I don't need this anymore. So first $25 gets that.
Is that 2011 handbook is what you got? Yep.
And this 2020 doesn't come with the CD. The 2011 version has the CD. I'll probably make a backup of that before I sell it, but whoever wants it.
Cool.
Well, I've got to hook up my radio here, so excuse me for a minute or two while I open the window and drag the cable in, etc. But I'll be right back.
Put a piece of string on it next time.
I had mine hooked up for 20 plus years to an isopole antenna straight to the radio for the 2 meter and a 40 meter delta loop with nothing but a polyphaser connected to it to the ground. And radio was on 24 hours a day. Took it no problem.
I really didn't. This is actually my jar. This sits outside on the windshield, on the windowsill.
That's scotch.
And the cables go in it. So
That's cool.
keeps the weather off of them.
And how many people here use silicone grease?
On the connections,
Yes.
Not that
deoxit.
smart.
Yeah, deoxit is what I use. Deoxit.
Interesting.
Hey, there's Denny.
It's
I
done.
always use dielectric grease.
Yeah.
You got a big old lifetime supply tube that they sell at Home Depot for like $5.
Depends how long you want to live is the problem.
Right, exactly. I'm like, I will never use this much. But they got it.
They got
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Well, Rodney's hiding out there. I see him. I saw him earlier, but he's hiding behind the screen. Are you there, Rodney? Can you hear your voice? There he is.
There he is.
I'm perplexed.
Hi, perplexed. Are you perplexed from Noble? Long-time listener, first-time caller.
This is my second time.
I know it. You didn't say a word the first time.
Rodney from Noble, you're on.
Whoop, whoop. So I'm building a new house, and I just got the covenants about 30 minutes ago, and it says a maximum antenna height of 30 feet.
That's not bad.
That just can't do.
So add a 20-foot mast.
30.
I'm thinking anything over 30 foot has to be approved by the covenant or something, or bump it up to 75 feet or.
Okay.
Go big or go home. Sure.
Covenants don't work the same way as homeowner HOAs and things like that.
Oh, you can't get out of them.
Covenants are written when the land is subdivided by the guys that owned it before.
Yep.
Right.
Probably has in there something like nothing over 2-story or 3-story buildings.
Nope, didn't see anything like that. Everything has to be over 2,000 square foot, but didn't say anything of multi-level. Only one resident per.
That's interesting because a lot of them will say that no more than 2 stories or 3 stories. You know, the covenants. The big thing about the covenants is they go in Oklahoma. They are like the old Indian treaties. As long as the land, the water flows,
that's true
and the
everywhere.
grass grows.
That's true everywhere. It's part of the deed, and you agreed to that when you bought it, and forevermore it shall be.
These are the people that originally, when like Oklahoma, the run of 89 that first got the land, that's how it got divided out, and they have the
got the land.
Inherent right. Yeah. But they have the inherent right to put covenants on it because the Indians didn't do it.
Right.
We keep changing.
Well, you want to play that game? The Indians didn't do it.
No,
we don't know that. Do you speak Cherokee? Can you read the books?
We keep changing our covenants. A bunch of people want to build sheds, so they change the covenants to allow
covenants or HOA rules. You're talking HOA rules.
Right.
Different thing.
That's a difference. Big
One's
difference.
written into your deed. The other one is just part of your homeowners association. Covenants are much stronger.
We had OU was going to build 8-story towers over behind the section we live in because they wanted to expand up. They were deeded some land, and their attorneys were trying to buy up houses and everything like that. And people were going crazy because they didn't want their 12-year-old daughter having some perp, on the 7th floor of some tower looking into her bedroom when she was changing clothes. So anyway,
they could buy curtains. I'm just saying.
OU's lawyers, as good as they were and everything, when we finally met with them right before they were getting ready to start taking land, we asked them, does this mean anything to you guys? And he said, what's that? I said, a covenant. He said, you have a covenant? Now, this is a high-priced attorneys for the university, and they didn't take the chance to look and see if there was covenants on the land. And they stopped, and 2 weeks later, they sold everything that they had. Because they found out they couldn't break them.
Yep. Now, the other thing is, 30 feet's hard to tell from the ground.
That's true.
Yeah, Ronnie, and says that 30 feet from the roof line up or from the ground up?
Yeah. It's a good question.
I don't know.
That's the kind of
Story
game a
on the
lawyer would
internet,
play.
So it must be true about Trump and a flagpole. And
Yeah, I know.
the story doesn't have to be true to be a good story, though. The bottom line was he had a 50-foot flagpole in a 30-foot neighborhood. And after a big shootout, he took down the 50-foot flagpole, had a 20-foot hill built, and put a 30-foot flagpole on top of it.
SOF, Mike. What's Mike's name?
Mike.
No, not MAF.
Winkle.
SOF.
Winkle.
He had an article in QST. It's probably, I bet it's 10 years ago now, because he built a flagpole vertical at his house, and I think that was to get around an HOA thing.
Yeah, HOAs are crazy.
Well, it's a different problem, but
yeah,
I'm not disputing what you're saying, but it's a different problem.
Everybody does it. I mean, AT&T has flagpole cell towers. You know.
Oh yeah.
Gary, this is one Gary's putting at his house.
And Rodney, if they say, did they say an antenna mast? Is that
No,
the way
it just said antenna. Can't
Well,
find
your antenna is only a foot tall. It's the 75-foot tower that they're complaining about. Huh?
Well, no, the wording is going to be important. If they say an antenna cannot be over 30 feet, and that doesn't say anything about a tower.
Any antenna placed on a residence shall be located as to not be seen from the front of the property and may not be more than 30 feet in height.
Okay, now is this covenant or is it HOA? Covenant or HOA?
It's covenant.
Covenant.
Placed on a residence, is that what I heard you say?
Yeah.
Read it again, Rodney.
So you got 30 feet
in front of the residence.
It's a restrictive covenant. Any antenna placed on a residence, meaning the property, shall be located as not to be seen from the front of the property and may not be more than 30 feet in height. In addition, any antenna, including satellite antennas placed on the property, shall be located to the rear of the residence and shall not be visible from the front of the property.
A lawyer could have fun with that.
Yeah, I was going to say, because the residence isn't the land. The residence is what you live in.
Yeah, but you still can't see it from the road is what they want. So,
right.
So a flagpole is a perfect your flagpole is your perfect friend. Or you put up a vent tenna. Have you seen a vent tenna?
Yeah.
It reminds me
40 phone.
If anybody knew Jack Black, who used to have American Exchange Bank.
Yeah.
And then later on, he had the flag company behind where American Exchange Bank.
Yeah.
He had the sign out in front at one time that said flagpole in rear. Yeah, okay. That fell.
Okay.
But I always loved that marquee out front that said flagpole in rear.
Rodney, if you get a crank up tower, you can crank it up to 30 feet during the day and as high as you want at night. Nobody will see it.
That is the thing to look at.
Well, I think I may have bought one 8 months ago from a guy at the meeting, but I never have gone and picked it up. Bill, do you remember what I got?
I don't know. Who'd you buy from?
At least you started the words correctly tonight. I'm perplexed.
You
It's going to be hard to pick up if you can't remember who you bought it from.
Well, I thought I bought it from you.
He sold it 3 times since then.
and loaned it to me for 6 months. So
You still
Hey,
have it.
I'm gonna have to take off, you guys. Y'all have a good evening.
Hey, take care,
Hey,
Chad.
take care,
Good seeing-
Chad.
It's good
See ya.
seeing y'all.
See you,
We'll see you
Chad.
soon. Goodbye.
Bye.
So long.
Now,
I just
Rodney, you can buy a horse fence antenna from me, and that way you can tell them it's a horse fence.
I can even get a horse, huh?
No, you don't have to. You say I can't afford the horse, but yeah, I got the I've got the horse fence.
You can have a donkey.
The handbook has been sold already. I just got email. That went fast.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 17 folks on YouTube, so that's a
I
crowd out
believe
there.
it was one of the YouTubers. Yeah, because I don't see him listed here. So
Good.
yeah. It's a good book. For those of you that don't have a ARRL handbook, buy one. Whether it's new or used, they don't actually change a lot every year, but
Yeah.
well worth whatever you pay for it. New ones are 50 and older ones, well, I just sold one for half that. So
They're only $50
for the soft cover one, because you saw what they did to the hardcover one, right?
Yeah.
They broke it into 30 or 40 pieces, which makes no sense to me. And
no sense.
but
It's
usually-
easier to print.
Picked up 5 of them.
When
for
did they do that?
$5 total out at Elk City, old ones. And
Oh,
they're
yeah?
fun to read. Yeah.
How old? Really old?
Oh, no, 60s, 50s, 60s.
Oh, wow.
And I bought them just for the
fun of it. Yeah.
For the fun to go look at the older
If
stuff.
if you're
Still
into
good stuff.
Yeah, and if you're into any antenna stuff it's antenna stuff. And if you're into older radios, all that stuff is obviously valid. So
Wow, they are. The soft cover is $50 and the hardcover is 70. I figured that'd be 100 and a half by now. Huh.
they had a real deal. I bought the computer version of it. It was $30 or something.
Oh, really? You must have had a sale.
Yeah, they had a sale a while back, and I splurged.
Yep, those are great reference books. Mine's really old, but it's all the stuff is still V equals IR hasn't changed much.
Hey, Mark, you've got that battery welder.
Uh-huh.
I may see about borrowing it from you.
Okay.
I need to make a battery pack up.
Oh, good. Good.
Hey, is anybody going to the Hamfest in
Joplin?
Joplin? Yeah, just lost the. I wanted to say Joliet, but that's a prison. But anyway, it's.
I had a cousin up
Joliet's a
there.
prison.
Anyway, anybody going to Joplin? Mike, you coming down?
I can't make it this year.
Not that.
It's closer for him to go to Joliet.
Yeah,
It is.
I thought about going to it, but when it said it was only 7 to 2, driving from here to Joplin, you'd have to leave, before daylight to get there.
Yeah.
Because everything's going to be gone between 7 and 9 or 10 a.m. anyway.
Yeah.
So
Even the one up at Derby was that way. It was like 7 to noon, and by the time I got up and got up there, there was nothing left. I don't know what there was at 7, but it wasn't there when I got there.
Well, I got there early enough that there was some stuff left, but boy, it was going fast.
That's an idea. Maybe we ought to, when things get a little bit less crazy, have a tailgate type thing, but run at noon to 7.
I think so.
Because then you get people driving in for the day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I bought the antenna the tower from Jim Henry, KZ50H. He may be dead by now, for all I know.
KZ50.
How much did you give him?
300.
So I wondered why he moved away, and now I know why.
He sold all his stuff off.
Yeah, he has that's a legit Canal Zone call sign.
So you
Yeah, that
haven't picked up the tower.
No, I've been a little busy.
AZ5 OH?
Yep.
OH. Oh, I got it wrong. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, he was
Oh, yeah.
surprised I knew what a canal zone call sign was, but I didn't.
He's
so.
down in Lexington.
Yeah,
That's lucky. You're in Noble. You're not far away.
I know.
Now, is he at the prison in Lexington or?
No, that's Joliet. That's Joliet.
There's a prison there too. There's prisons everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a prison in Lexington. Yeah.
Yeah.
3 of them,
Yeah.
and they got the COVID.
Yeah, I saw that.
Sure.
150
Not bad-
cases. Or
bad as Mabel Bassett, but
yeah.
Mm-mm.
That's so. I don't know James Henry.
you might know him if you saw him. He only came to a couple, 3 meetings, and
He made out like a bandit.
yeah, he did.
He's made more money at a meeting than I have.
Well, and Ed was wanting to buy the antenna.
And
But
you
it-
outbid him?
Well, I had the money up front, but
Well-
apparently the tower folds over.
Wow.
Oh, it could be just a tip over thing.
Yeah, I think it is.
Still, it's
But
probably
You
good.
need a crank up monopole.
Think so, maybe. I don't know.
I
But
got one. I'll sell you $250. Pay me now.
Delivery is what?
Got to drive up there to get it.
so
They
where's
could meet. They could meet in Joliet.
Well, he's easy with giving money for towers. I thought I'd give it a try.
Yeah.
You know, I seriously thought about doing that. I thought about having one in my backyard, and I'd just wait till dark and then crank it up and operate all night and then crank it back down, you know, and let them find it, you know, as long as it's behind the house, you know.
Oh,
But then
you could always say,
I read my
you could
covenant.
always say it was 30 foot tall, and they can't estimate.
You know something? A lot of people will never say a word about it.
Yep.
You know,
Let's just show your tail.
Just an antenna that's in the back or something like that. What they get real upset about is this, you know, the 12-foot wide satellite dishes that people used to stick out in their front yards.
What do you mean used to?
Okay.
I've got 2.
That's
You
some
really?
people stick in their yards.
Yeah.
I got to tell you guys this. I've been binge watching the Twilight Zone, the old one, you know. While I'm,
Why do you say that when Galen? Why do you say that when Galen shows up?
Galen probably remembers it. I don't know. He might not be old enough, but
He's from the Twilight Zone.
but anyway, so they had this episode the other day. I think it was called Leather Jackets, and this family is, you know, sitting in their house. They're all watching TV, and all of a sudden their TV goes all screwy, and one of them says, "Oh, it's those new neighbors and that antenna they put up." And the father says, "Oh, they're probably ham radio operators. I'm going to go over and talk to them." And anyway, it was pretty funny. He storms over there. Turns out they're aliens actually, and they zapped him. But anyway, you know, ham radio operators get the first blame when the TV starts messing up.
Well, of course we do.
Who's got an over-the-air TV that's not a ham?
That's a good point.
I mean, come on. All of your friends, everybody you know, I know one guy that I convinced to put an over-the-air TV, and he saves a ton of money, and he's once a year he puts a picture of the antenna on Facebook, and he says, "Thanks, Mark, you saved me this much money this year." That's the only guy I know.
You know 2 people. You know 2 people. Linda.
Well, she's
Her brother's a ham, though, isn't
yeah,
she?
she's all
Isn't
but
he?
a ham. Yeah.
Mark, you got another one here.
You're a ham, but you're a ham.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm telling you.
one of my best friends is over the air, but he's a CPA. He's cheap. That's the reason. You know.
Well, get him his ham ticket. He'll fit right in.
Mm-hmm.
He worked out his spreadsheet, huh? He worked out his spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Was one that they had where spaceship took off and it's zooming toward the outer reaches of the universe. And all of a sudden, it breaks through. And they look out the window of the spaceship, and they're inside of the kid's room. And they broke out one of those planetariums, that sits on the desk.
Oh, jeez.
Think about that one.
That's a Doctor Who show.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
we could be, if you think about the similarities of a solar system and an atom, both of them have a thing in the middle with other things going around it. I mean, maybe our solar system is just an atom in somebody's pinky,
Yep.
Yes. Hey, don't bogart the bong, man. Send it this way.
Never know. Anyway.
Can sure mess with your head, that's for sure.
Yeah. We could all just be virtual. We just think we're here,
Yeah, I went home an hour ago.
Put the doobie down, Sam.
Now, you're talking Matrix.
This is just iced tea tonight, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure it is. Sure it is.
Well,
sure.
Sonic's got a margarita machine now.
Oh God, they'll never close.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
I'll be back.
You just carry your own flask.
Yeah.
Well, my neighbor says he drinks a lot of red fruit punch, but he doesn't tell anybody. He puts a whole bottle of vodka in it.
My old man used to call that Kickapoo Joy Juice, but he put Everclear in it.
Yeah.
Ow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Had a guy telling me yesterday he used to take a watermelon and cut a hole in it, and put a bottle of Everclear in there, and then put it in a bucket of ice for a few hours.
I've seen that with vodka. Pretty impressive.
I think that's pretty much what Everclear is, isn't it? I mean, they're just
151 proof.
Wow. Man.
We used to use it for cleaning the heads on tape machines.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
See, look at that. Ken walks off. AG5PQ. You got him thirsty.
That's probably what he went to. He went to Sonic is what he did. So, Rodney, did you get an antenna figured out yet?
You got to turn your microphone on, Rodney.
There you go.
I'm looking at crank up towers.
Oh. Yeah, that wouldn't. I think like most folks, the neighborhood people won't go nuts unless they have a reason to. But 30 feet antenna is not a bad deal.
Do you have any trees, Rodney?
The Red Cross was 30 foot.
2.5 acres. So,
do you have any trees?
There's a tree down the hill.
There's a tree what?
Down the hill.
How tall?
30 foot.
Okay, that tree needs a guide wire to make sure it doesn't fall over. And if you connect it to another tree, that will do that. And I know a certified arborist that could come visit your house. That might
do you
write a prescription for that? Maybe an 18 gauge wire that would be used to hold that tree from falling down the hill.
He even has a truck, I think.
To make it grow straight.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's what you need, Rodney. You get that certified arborist.
Yeah, and then you could use your tip up pole as a flagpole. Put a flag on top of it, and you're good to go.
Just don't paint it red and white.
Yeah, you need to go find that antenna, Rodney.
So, well, I missed out on part of that. The developer just called.
Oh,
remembered telling us that we could have an antenna, and he would type up a letter for permanent record that that is approved.
There you go.
There you go. Bingo, bingo. And tell him that you do emergency work.
Well, we did, and that's why he said okay. But
yeah.
So I guess the sky's the limit now.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Well, you know, if you get over 200 feet, you got to notify the FAA. But
yeah, you got to do that 6 month NOTAM and everything.
No, you don't have to. You have to do it a lot lower than that. At 200, you have to turn lights on. That's what you have to do.
Okay. All right. I knew it was
mine here is 60 at the office. It just depends on how close it is. I was real panicked and thought about the airport over here at the. I'm 4,400 feet away from the airport, and oh my goodness, that's going to be terrible. And this 80-foot tower is going to be in trouble. Forgot totally about the helipad over at the airport. That's just like 200 feet north of me.
Yeah.
At the hospital. Yeah. At the hospital.
But
and
now, wait a second. You're talking about it, the Healthplex?
Yeah.
The helipad's on the ground.
Yeah, I know it. My tower's 80 foot up, and I forgot about doing that one. And the FAA did the math for me and said, "You're fine. Don't worry about that one."
Yeah.
But I didn't even think about forgot about the hospital.
Put a light on it and they'll be happy.
No, I don't need it.
No, I'm not talking about the need. I was talking about guys who are in that helicopter.
Well, Phil and I put that antenna up, or put that tower up, and got it all up, and we hit the crank button to pull the thing up so it was 80 feet in the air. Life's good. 30 minutes to the second later, a helicopter took off from the airport and went straight over the tower. And I went, whoops, close. Never even saw it. But he was plenty high.
I can get a 24. Am I still on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can get a 24-foot crank up for about $1,000.
There you go.
I thought.
Well, now you don't need a crank up
tower.
What?
I thought you already had a tower.
Well, I don't have possession of it anymore, or yet. So we'll see. I do have 20 foot in the backyard laying on the ground, but.
There you go. Is that Ron 25 or 45?
25.
25. Still looking for a stick of 45. Still looking for a stick.
Well,
did you get that from the Red Cross yet?
No, I haven't picked up the tower. I've got everything else, but haven't grabbed the tower. I need to go over there with a grinder and grind off those bolts first, and I should probably do that.
Hey, Mark.
Yo.
Is there still a push-up pole or some sort of pole on top of the roof of the Red Cross?
Yes. That stayed put, which is odd. But
do we need to go get that?
Yeah, I'll go grab it when I pick that other one up. Just go up with a bucket and pull it down. Pull it all down.
Let me know when you're ready, and I'm
okay.
Always available.
Okay. Thank you.
And I've got a grinder,
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. So, Rodney, is this place far from your current place, or is this?
It's on Cemetery between 48th and 60th.
Oh, I know where that's at.
You'd be in the country.
Yeah.
You'd be closer to me.
With Bambi and everything.
We got about 4 or 5 Bambis that show up at our place.
That's because you got.
I got the critters. Well, I was surprised they showed up with the critters, but they still come to the pond. So
they like to drink.
Yep.
Well,
We got
kids,
two.
I'm going to let you talk about me because I'm leaving.
Awesome. Well, you don't have to do that. We can talk about with you still
I know
here.
you
I've
talk
got,
about me.
I've got notes. I've got notes. I've been waiting.
Oh, good. Here's your chance. Anyway, guys, you take care of yourself.
See, Lee, be safe.
Take care, Lee.
I was
Hey,
hoping
man.
Dr. Phil was going to make it in, but probably next time.
Yeah. Have you heard anything since he got out?
He was on the Breakfast Club this morning, the MacNet.
He was
good.
on the repeater about 30 minutes ago. I didn't talk to him, but I could hear him.
And he'll probably check in here at 8:00. So probably hear him then.
Good.
But he's doing good. His sore throat from being tubed, but that he'll get over that after a while.
That's part of the game.
Oh man, it sucks. It sucks. Anyway, guys, take care of yourself.
See you, Lee.
Be good.
All righty. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Speaking of critters, I discovered I've got a new critter. It comes up at dark, apparently, after living here almost 3 years for the first time. Had two neighbors come over to investigate with me in the backyard up near the house. There's 2-inch diameter holes, only about 2 inches deep. And there's about, half a dozen in one section. And then there's another half a dozen in another section. Looks like the ground's been dug up a little bit. Anybody want to guess what it is?
Armadillo.
Bingo. Give that guy a cigar.
Nature's lawn aerators, man.
Lawn area, yeah.
They tear mine up, but
That means the bad news is that means you got a lot of bugs in the subsoil, so you ought to be putting out some
after the grubs.
Yeah, but probably were after the grubs. But I mean, I haven't had anything around for 2.5, almost 3 years.
Yeah, that means
all
probably
of a
just
sudden,
got enough built up.
And all of a sudden, it just showed up.
You know, I live out here on 5 acres, and what I've figured out is that anytime a new critter shows up, it's because something he likes to eat has shown up. You know,
Yep.
When I get snakes, it's because I have mice. You know, I mean, and as soon as the mice are all gone, the snakes go away, and you know, so it's all just part of the food chain. And as soon as they eat all the grubs out of your yard, they'll move to the next guy where there's food. They're just looking for food. You know?
Mark, if you know anybody that works at Lowe's, I'm sure they have some stuff there to get rid of the grubs.
I've had a whole list of ideas given to me of what to put out back on the yard that won't kill the grass, but it'll make them run away.
All you got to do is kill the food. That's like he said, just put some grubs, whatever it is for grubs, and
yeah, it's like putting out fertilizer.
Yep.
Yeah, there's also, you know, critter stuff that you can put out that's not harmful to pets and stuff like that. We use it to keep the squirrels out of our gardens, and it's different formulas, but just they just don't like the smell. So,
well, if you want to keep skunks out of your flower beds and dig it up around in your flower beds, they tell you to take a big, huge jar of that cayenne pepper, sprinkle that in your flower bed. You won't ever have that problem again.
Yep. Well, that's what most of those critter repellent stuff, if you read them, they're cayenne pepper, they're all, you know, garlic. I mean, they're all natural stuff. And it's just every company has their own mixture. But and we've got one, I can't remember what brand it is that we really like, but keeps the squirrels and the rabbits out of our garden pretty well. So.
Yep, that right there. I'll get it for you, Mark.
I can't see what you're showing.
Grub killer.
Yep.
Lowe's.com. Tulsa's open till 9. You could get this one out of Tulsa Midtown at 9 o'clock. No idea why it's picking up Tulsa. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. So Bill Lockett's probably got his vertical antenna up, and he's worked all 7 continents already, is probably what I'm going to say, right? He went and got a sandwich.
You're close. You're close.
What are you missing?
Antenna.
What, your vertical?
I had a tree come down and lay across my tower. So I got to get it removed.
What about your vertical?
Well, it's in the way.
Oh, so recently this has happened, is what you're saying.
Yeah, with that wind last week, the
Oh.
big storm.
Oh.
Did you get that beam up that you had, or what?
No, nothing's up.
So have you ever got your tower up?
Well, it's 5 feet up.
Okay, that's what I thought.
You need to put an attic antenna up just so you have one.
I'm polarized with your antenna, Rodney.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Carl, I was wondering what that is on the screen there in the background, and while I was watching, your head disappeared. You know.
Yeah, that is kind of entertaining, isn't it?
Yeah. So what's that you're running on the big screen there in the picture behind you there?
Oh. Are you still talking to me?
Yeah. Yeah, on the computer there.
That's my radio room. Oh, on the computer screen.
Yeah.
That's Win4 ICOM software.
Okay.
Oh, are you using that? What's you happy with that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's absolutely great.
I've seen that. I just never seen it in operation or heard anybody that's really used it. That's like a $50 add-on or something like that.
Yeah, I think it went up at the first of the year or within the last year, and I think it's 60 now. But yeah, it's definitely worth it, and I can use it for both the ICOM 7300 and the ICOM 9700.
Oh,
it's pretty nice.
Plus, you can add whatever you want to. Any of the other programs, they work seamlessly through that. If they use a COM port.
You mean any radio? Like if my radio uses a COM port, my Flex radio uses a COM port, it would be able to pull off of that?
Yes, and if you're running like a SDR or an SDR dongle.
Oh, really?
Multiple radios. If you use programs that, like the programs that they, or keeping track of your contacts.
Oh, logging?
Yeah, the logging programs.
Oh, so as long as it's got a COM port.
And it's all seamless where you don't have to do anything. They just all work.
I'm gonna have to go look
What
at
is
that.
the program again?
Win4 ICOM.
WIN and the number 4 ICOM.
Cool.
Yeah, for yours, for your Ken, that'd be a good deal to put for your thing, your 7300. That's what Carl's using. Huh. Now, can you control the radio through that software?
Yes.
So you can change frequencies. You can do all that.
Yep. And it's all buttons on the computer screen. You can use mouse to control anything, and it's actually easier than using the radio.
Wow. So if you remote into that computer, you could do route your audio, of course, but you could do remote real easy with that.
Yes.
It's like you can download the trial for free.
Yep.
Huh. I'm gonna have to get a new radio. None of mine have COM ports or CAT ports.
I'm gonna have to get another computer.
I just do it like Mark. He's got what 5, 6, 7 laptops hanging around that you can just hook up to it. So you know you can buy those.
Better get another mason jar too.
Well, I'm always using this computer to Zoom, and then you know, so I need another one so I can be doing other things.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh.
Well, if you look on eBay right now, laptops are a dime a dozen.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, I noticed yesterday on there that they were having a big sale. Apparently on eBay, everybody's trying to sell off laptops for some reason.
They stole them from work, so they're selling them.
I guess so.
I bet a lot of it has to do with school. You know, people having to view from school.
That's true. They're trying to sell off laptops to all those people that needs to buy them for homeschooling for their kids.
Yeah. Huh. I do need, all joking aside, I do need to get a new box for the radio stuff. Mine's 10 years old and need something with more horsepower.
Hey, Mark, you know, a couple weeks back, I asked you about getting my wife's Surface fixed. And
oh, yeah.
You gave me a guy and called him, and he said, no, he didn't do it, but there was this other company that did do them. And so my wife called them, and they said, yeah, bring it in. And so we put it in the car the other day and took it in, walked in the door and said, we're here. We need to get this Surface fixed. The guy behind the counter said, we don't work on Surfaces. My wife said, you know, I called yesterday, and the guy said you did. Well, he was wrong. So
nice. That's customer service, man.
Yeah. So I said, my wife started. I said, come on, let's just go. Charles lost his head. Oh, it's back. Anyway, so we're just going to run the thing with the fan making noise until it burns up, and then I'm going to go on eBay and buy her a new computer.
There you go.
And it won't be another Surface. Thank you, Microsoft. The issue seems to be that it's kind of like an iPhone. You got to take a heat gun and take the screen off to get to any of it. And they said the screen is so fragile that if you tweak it just the slightest, it just cracks. So nobody wants to touch it.
Yeah.
Well, Best Buy's got a sale going on iPads.
He's got one of those already too. My wife has them. She talks to me about ham radios, but she's got an iPhone, an iPad, 2 Kindles, and a Surface. So she's got all the tech she can carry.
Probably more than she can carry.
Was the echo back there for a while?
Yep.
Sorry about that.
I
I try
was
to
sitting there
mute
trying to
when I
figure out
plug
where it
in the
came.
external speaker.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, that was an evil grin, wasn't it?
MAF, when are you going to deliver my 6-pack?
I haven't been brewing. That's a
What?
good reminder. I need to brew.
That basement would be perfect. Nice, cool, or constant temperature.
Very constant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you had your first snow yet?
You'd think I'd remember to brew something because every other day I'm moving stacks of bottles from one spot to another. Snow?
Yeah, is it? I mean, well, you're Michigan, you know.
43 tomorrow morning, but
Inches?
it's dry.
Wow, that's a lot. It's almost
It's
4
dry.
feet.
Not inches.
Oh, degrees?
Yeah.
Oh.
No. Oh, it's still the summer. Summer's got 2 weeks left.
Then he gets his snow.
Well, summer's over after Labor Day, right?
Right. Then
For
you get it
us.
2 or 3
Yeah.
feet of snow.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Rodney, I'll make a batch of beer and you come on up and pick up a 6-pack.
If I'm going that far, it's going to be a lot more than a 6-pack. You're going to have to help
22-ounce
me
bottles?
or something.
What?
22-ounce bottles?
No, he's going to want a couple of kegs.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with being up here for free.
And it'll need to be full legal limit.
I haven't made any full legal limit in a while. I should.
Now, what legal are you talking about? The laws or the ones that keep the caps from flying off?
The ones where one bottle's enough.
For 3 people.
Yeah. I remember those. I'd do some really dark stuff that was way high, and people would take one sip and they go, "I'm done." It's like, good. Works for me.
Well, one of the unintended results of this virus and stores closing, up here we have 10-cent returns on cans and bottles. So everybody saves their cans and bottles. And nowadays they only let one person. First of all the can and bottle returns were closed for a couple months. So everybody's massing these garbage bags and totes filled with empty cans. So in front of all the stores, you see a line of shopping carts with old ladies and old men and the occasional younger guy with these shopping carts full of bottles and cans of empty beer cans, just waiting to take their turn at the store to get their deposit back on their beer cans. It's kind of funny.
And how long did you stand out there the other day?
An hour.
Yours?
An hour.
Were you
An
buying
hour,
them off?
okay.
Were you paying them 11 cents so you could get their good ones?
No, but my gosh, your garage fills up with cans pretty soon.
Oof.
Is Rodney on the Aries net?
He's on the talk to the hand net, it looks like.
I'm next up.
Uh-oh.
Hey, can I have a courtesy check in? I'm sure they don't call my name anymore.
KF5 UZA and Mike SK5 MAF would like a courtesy check-in. I'll give
Super.
KF5 VMJ Elliott.
Thanks, Rodney.
KF5 VMJ Elliott in for the count.
Where's is Elliot on here? Or is he watching? Maybe he's on YouTube. All right, guys, I need to get going. I will see you at some point.
Peace.
Bye.
See you, Peter.
See you,
Peter.
See Peter. Have
Bye.
a good week.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get going too. So long, everybody.
See you, Lee.
Ta-ta.
So long.
Ta-ta.
Okay.
Well, that's weird. Listening to my little radiodity, trying to pick up the '06 net. I didn't hear anything, so I keyed it, and the 88 machine came up. So I guess I have some programming screwed up.
Oops.
Wonder what I did that for.
Mark, did you see that they sent up a whole bunch more satellites today?
Oh yeah. I can't remember what the payload was, but they went out of Cape Canaveral.
54 satellites.
Oh, 54 more of that was all the Starlink ones.
All the Starlink ones. They sent up 54 more of them today.
I saw the launch, but I couldn't remember what the.
You know how many they say they've got already in space, not counting the 54?
Oh, like 400 or what something.
660.
Yeah.
And they added 54 more today.
That's crazy.
Well,
So is
they're
that-
saying the Starlink satellites.
When is the Wi-Fi going to be up and running?
Well, their timetable, according to them, is towards the end of the year because they have to link them all together once they get them where they want them in space. And then they're going to have an internet that's available pretty much to the world.
I don't know what you're going to need to pick that up.
I have this sneaking suspicion it's a small satellite dish.
Well, I don't know.
I'm hoping it's not. I'm hoping they're going to set up towers, like repeater towers around the world, basically, that will pick up the signal from the satellites to the repeater towers and then to your house.
Wow. It says the beta users are getting 11 to 60 megabits.
Woo.
Is that good?
From a satellite? Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm hoping they're going to figure out a better way to do it just through satellite because, every time you get a cloudy day or a storm, you've lost internet.
Well, it shouldn't be.
Well, it's just like TV. I mean, it's just like if you got Dish or DirecTV.
Well, but it's different frequencies. Let's see what's the frequency. The TV stuff goes off because it's really high freak.
Well, I figured it'd be 5 gig. 5
I don't know what
gigahertz.
it is. I don't know what it is. Let's see. We're targeting latency below 20 milliseconds. Wow. See, these satellites aren't geostationary, so they're 500 kilometers, 550 instead of the 35,000 kilometers.
Mm-hmm. But they're going to link them together, and there's the sheer number of them alone.
Oh, yeah.
they're going to have to make the cost reasonable if it's going to be worldwide.
Yeah, I think that's the idea. But I haven't heard any stories on any of that.
I actually watched it live, and what was really cool is the rocket that sent the payload up there released it once it got up to like right at space, and then it brought itself back down and landed on their carrier, basically they've got, and put for it to be reused again.
Yeah, that actual rocket has gone up 6 times and landed 6 times.
Is that SpaceX?
Yes.
That is so sci-fi. It's just unbelievable.
Isn't that
It really
crazy?
I love it.
I mean, I agree. It's just like, I got a great idea. Let's just reuse the first stage by dropping it down and landing it on a ship.
Exactly.
Okay. Good idea.
Talk about
that's how Buck Rogers did it in 1954.
There you go.
Exactly.
Talk about cost saving.
Yeah. I mean, that rocket has been up
Mark,
6
you're up
times.
on Aries net.
Oh, I am? I can't. My radio's on the wrong frequency. It's talking on 88, not 06. Somehow I screwed up the programming. Thanks, though. I was all excited. I brought a radio and then flip and have it programmed wrong.
Oh no, my battery.
I have a few handhelds back there. You could borrow one.
Oh, I've got a whole bunch of them. This one I actually just found in the truck when I was looking for something else today, and I have no idea why I put it on 8.8. Probably did something over there on the. Oh, it's well, no, it wasn't from that. I was going to say maybe from when Peter and I did that RIDI thing, but that was. Yeah, it could be from that.
There you go, Rodney. I've got some you can borrow too.
There you go. Yeah, I've got like 4 sitting in the chargers at home.
They don't do you any good there.
No, I got 2 here, and they're both programmed on 8.8. Oh well. No, that Starlink thing is unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. It's really cool.
From what I'm reading, they're saying that eventually they'll get to gigabit speed.
To do that, they're going to have to do it to a tower on the ground and then to you.
Maybe.
Because I can't imagine them doing it to a satellite dish.
Maybe. We'll go back to Ken's story. This is so sci-fi.
Sci-fi.
Crazy.
Sci-fi. Oh, I'm back.
Yay. Oh. There's Randy looking cool in his shades and all.
Hey, Randy.
Speaking of satellites, and talking to the space station, they went to set up, Mark, they went to set up their equipment the other day for the 2-meter uplink, downlink to be able to just talk on radio.
Uh-huh.
And they turned it on and the radio didn't come on. So they played with it for a while and they made sure they had the wires hooked up to it. Everything was like it's supposed to, power supply working. And they figured out that the fuse in the fuse link was blown.
Oh, no.
Guess what?
No fuses.
They don't have any fuses on the space station for it.
They got a 22 shell?
Well, they were told, according to NASA, that they on one of the next excursions to bring them supplies, they'd bring them some new fuses, but don't stick anything in there that would temporary because it create a fire hazard on the space station. So they have to wait. They have to wait for the next supply to come up and bring him a box of fuses.
In other words, they knew they would try to go around the regulations on that one.
Yeah, and they told him don't do it because I think that's what they were thinking about doing. I thought that was kind of funny.
That is hilarious. I had not heard that.
I was going to email one of the astronauts, one of the hams up there. He still does emails and stuff back and forth. You can email him. I was going to email him and tell him that, it's really good to carry a box up there with all the parts and pieces and stuff like amateurs normally do in case you have situations like that.
Yeah. At least a 22 shell you could use.
Well, it's funny. NASA doesn't think about all the little parts and pieces they might need for that stuff.
There's your launch on my video.
Yeah, that was cool this morning. That was cool to watch that live. What's really cool is as it goes up, they've actually got cameras right on the rocket, so you can see it looking down back towards Earth and stuff. It's really, really neat. Because they switched it once it gets going up there, they switch to those cameras on the rocket so they can watch how that's working.
There's a neat shot, a couple neat stills of it going into the clouds right here. It really brightened up the clouds right before it went in, and it's got some great shot. Man, got some stability problems on that camera.
Well, as soon as it goes through the clouds and stuff, goes up there, I think they start switching over to the cameras on the rocket itself so they can monitor it.
Mark, you didn't hear my snarky comment a while ago, did you?
Nope.
I think I was muted, but I was curious when you're going to start running all the cable between all of those satellites for the link.
Wouldn't that be wild? I already got it done, boss. Just turn them on.
Hey, there goes Mark floating over.
Max, I'd go do it.
Just carry a radio with you so we can talk to you when you fly by.
Yep. Here it comes. Be back in 90 minutes.
Programmed right first.
Yeah, exactly.
And carry a box of fuses with you.
No, Mark, while you're up there connecting the satellite, just go by and knock on the door and say, "Here, guys, here's you some fuses."
Yeah. I think it would be a blast. 30 kilometers up.
There.
Stage 2.
See, look, it switched to the onboard cameras.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Tim. Next up, we got Sam.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm. Surprised while that's going up, you don't see one of those 660 satellites go zipping by.
Yeah. Or W5KUB's balloon.
Yeah.
I think he launched another one now that say that, didn't he?
What happened to the one he had up?
It landed in North Carolina.
Did they ever find it?
I have not seen that they found it. It landed in a big wooded area by a pig farm, and they sent a search and rescue team out for it. And they said they made friends with the pig farmers, but they couldn't find it. I think it got dark and it quit transmitting.
All right. Well, that wraps it up this evening. I hope everybody has a
That brings up visions of the video that was making rounds on Facebook and elsewhere here about a week ago of the wild boar that went and stole a nudist's laptop.
Yeah, don't get excited. The nudist looked more like me than anything you're thinking about. I saw that. Do you think? Yeah, you was right. Do you think that was staged, Galen? I didn't go look details.
I didn't. Honestly, I didn't even watch the video.
I didn't see the video. I just saw the still, and I thought, man, that looks like a Benny Hill show.
Now, supposedly it was for real, but I don't know. Who
Oh,
knows?
really? Is that was billed as for real? That's first of all, really, you're at a nudist whatever, and you bring your laptop. Wouldn't you get tan lines?
Tan squares.
Hey, Mark.
Yep.
You see the fly swatter panels on that rocket?
Uh-huh. Guide fins.
You know what they're for?
Guide fins, yeah.
They're stabilizers.
Yeah. Yep.
They pop open at on part of the programming. They pop open to keep it stable.
Yeah.
That thing's still accelerating.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Don't they help guide it to the landing?
Yeah. Yep. Gary Skaggs' house, I think he said, is 12 miles or 12 kilometers from the Boca Chica site in South Texas that SpaceX has. Oh, we're looking down the tube of first stage.
Mm-hmm. And here shortly, you see the engine start up on the first stage, where it for about 12 seconds. And then once that's done, the first stage lets go, and it goes back down and lands.
Yep, they're starting to put out firing jets to stabilize it. You can see that on the left-hand screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'll see it light up here in a minute, and it runs for about 12 seconds.
I still want to be in that meeting where the very first guy says, I think we could do this, guys. What do you think?
Didn't they crash the first couple?
Oh, yeah. I don't know how many.
And they'd probably turn to you, Mark, and go, okay, you can program it to do it.
Yeah. Oh, sure, we can do that. Come on, guys, let's go. Bring that Mountain Dew over. We'll get it taken care of.
I'd like to have made 1/10 of what that programmer made that programmed it for it.
I doubt he got more than. He's probably an intern from Google. These guys are all work up there. They're starting to weather vane the. There we go.
There, you got about 12 seconds, and then after about 12 seconds, the flame goes out, and then all of a sudden here you lose the first stage, and it goes back down. The rest of it goes on up, and shortly.
Oh
after,
no, they're split apart now. They've been split apart.
Yeah, but once that first stage goes, now it starts going back down. The right side there, that other one, it releases the satellites.
Oh, you mean his first timing?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you look on the bottom arc, the timing arc, it's second engine cutoff is right after the landing burn. So yeah, I see that. Man, that's got to be just a big rush, isn't it? You see this thing coming up at the ground, coming up at you, and poof, they lost the video. Come on, give me the video.
It'll come back in a minute. That one there, they're getting ready now to tell it to release the satellites. You got to figure they've got two different teams working those two different units.
Oh yeah, there's probably 20. Yeah, I love that glow coming off of that rocket motor. It's isn't that kerosene and liquid oxygen?
Yep,
burning.
Yep. Whole lot cheaper than the fuel that NASA was using for all their Saturn V's and so forth.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Here's the ship.
Yep, and you'll see it come in view here in a minute.
This is just such a crazy idea. Here it comes. Wow.
Lands right back down there perfectly, right where it's supposed to. And it clears up here in a minute, and you say, hello, it's back right where it's supposed to be.
It's like Tom Corbett.
Yeah.
Boom. Hello.
That's just nuts.
Big wave comes along,
dumps it
knocks
over.
it into the water.
Now they're releasing the satellites.
No, this that's here over on the right-hand side, another inch or so along the screen, it looks like. See, it says SkySat.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the SkySats are going to go out first.
Yeah, they've got 3 of those or 4 of those, something like that.
Yeah.
And then they release all the other satellites.
Hey, who's the blonde?
Mission assistant director.
Oh.
She's explaining what you're seeing happening at this point.
She's probably pretty smart too.
These folks usually are when you sit and listen to them.
Do you notice the angle in which they're sending those satellites around the Earth, Mark? It's not along the equator.
No. It's polar so that they can get good coverage. Make it look like a shield. You know, if you look at the shield of a coax, they that way they can have 660 of them scattered around the Earth right now. That's crazy. 360 degrees if you think about it that way. That's about 2 every. 2 every degree. So one on the northern hemisphere and one on the southern hemisphere. Amazing.
Hey guys, I'm going to get out of here. 73s. Y'all have a good week.
Let me know if you order that 3D printer, man.
I'm probably going to.
$11,000.
No, it's only 300 or something.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go for the 300 one.
Okay.
Yeah, that glass one is base plate is well worth it, is what Ken said. So I'm sure the other stuff.
That's what all the
too.
reviews said that too. But
yeah,
I've had to cancel 3 business trips this year, so I've got a little extra money sitting around. I might as well spend it.
Spend the tax deduction.
Yeah. So anyway, y'all take care. We'll see you next week.
Have a safe week, Sam. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
See you, Sam.
Bye, Sam.
Yeah, those are amazing. The silly 3D printers are just amazing what you can do with those things. Just crazy. Crazy. Okay. About ready to get a SkySat out there, man.
Yep. Engines are off. It's getting ready to set up. Well, you guys have a good week. I'm going to get out of here too.
All righty.
See you later, Mark.
See you later, Mark.
Okay, Mark. We'll
have a safe week, guys.
All right.
Always.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
I don't see it going away. Come on, man. Where is it? There it goes. Wave goodbye. Bye, Mr. Satellite. That's amazing.
Mark, how big are those?
That's what I was just trying to figure out what that, the little ones, the SAMs or the amateurs are those 4-inch cubes, but I don't know what that SkySat is. Those are 3 ones that they're putting out for somebody else. Let's see, SkySats.
They're bigger than you think. I read something recently, and they seemed like, wow, that was pretty big.
This is by Planet Labs. Oh, Planet Labs again.
They're on the order of 600 pounds.
Oh, wow.
600 pounds. That's pretty big.
Something like.
Size of a mini refrigerator is what they say.
Oh, is that all?
Well, that's pretty big. How many of those are they going to launch?
3. Those are 3 of them are coming off of this trip right now. And SkySat's 19, 20, and 21. So they've got 21 of those now up in the air. And they've been up there for 8 years, the oldest one. 110 kilograms is what it says. So that's 250 pounds.
2.26 pounds per kilogram. So
there you go.
It's about 300. I thought they were a little heavier than that.
Well, they've been on a diet, I guess.
Well, you know.
Let's see. It can produce images with a resolution of 50 centimeters. So 50 centimeters is 2 inches. They can see stuff that's 2 inches from the
50 centimeters is not 2 inches.
Oh, no, 50 centimeters, not millimeters. Sorry. 50 centimeters times 10.
19 inches.
Yeah, there you go. So 19 inches.
Oh, what? That's not the Starlink, is it?
That's no. This SkySat. These 3 that just went out.
Okay.
Those are 3 satellites for a private company.
They doing weather with them or something?
No, they're spying on you. And
That's not a very good resolution for a spy satellite.
well, they're just looking for. They're just looking for how many vehicles are at this location, comrade. I mean, they don't have to see much. What was the U2 resolution, I wonder?
That's classified, Mark.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were going to be able to tell me that. I was going to trick you.
No, you can't trick me.
I remember they used to say that they could, back in the 80s, they used to say they could, if you laid a hammer down on a runway, they could tell you which way the hammer was pointing.
What's a U2? Never heard of it.
U2 airplane?
Never heard of it.
The U2?
No. Never heard of it.
One of the first.
Never heard of it. Nope.
Spy planes we had.
There's no such thing.
Oh.
You were flying it.
No such thing. Never heard of it. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, old ex-pilots of the YouTube can't talk anything about it, so I guess that's what you're saying.
Rodney went outside. Hey.
Yes, I did.
Looks nice there.
He's fast.
I have to wear a sweater outside now.
Oh my gosh. See, it's.
You know, that's pretty good, Mark. You got the spaceship on and Peter's voice. It sounds like Peter's up in space.
Are you sure he's not?
Hey, Mark, where's the video you're getting? Is that YouTube or SpaceX or
YouTube? I searched for SpaceX Starlink launch, and it was the top one.
I got to run, guys. Y'all have a good night.
See you, man. Be good.
Okay.
So it's getting cool up there, huh, Mike?
Yeah, the nights are getting cool. We still have 2 weeks of summer left.
Would you say 43 in the morning?
43 tomorrow. Which is well above freezing, 11 degrees.
Yeah, it's like nowhere near freezing, right?
When do you get first frost? Late September?
You know, I haven't looked it up yet. I don't know. Probably middle of September.
Yeah, we're going to be
Average.
begging for it down here because ragweed's going to be awful.
Oh man, it's terrible. Hey, they caught a fairing.
New Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon tonight on NBC.
They caught a fairing. Good job.
Huh.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get your winter clothes out so you can go play golf.
No golf for me.
Oh. I hadn't heard about that. Surgery or accident?
Accident, torn Achilles.
What were
No
you
surgery needed. Just keep it in the boot.
What were you doing?
I was playing a basketball game at the 4th of July.
There
And
it goes.
I'm not very fit, so I wasn't really moving fast.
Since I was a kid, I was fascinated by danger.
So what are we looking at now?
That's the batch of 50, whatever it is, satellites, 57, 58 satellites.
They're just going to go.
And they'll release them.
And clusters.
Yep.
Cool.
Those guys do so many things differently.
What do you mean?
I mean, they're just it's just really cool to see a commercial interest take over some of these problems without all of the bureaucracy. They've got plenty of it, I know, but it's neat to see it happen.
Yeah, it is, because
when you think of what he's done there,
yeah,
and the things he's trying to do here, it's just pretty amazing. Like
well, and how much? Okay, most mere mortals rack all this junk together, but this is the Starlink, which is putting all these satellites up there and commercial rides to space, totally separate from the crew, which is hauling guys up and down to the ISS, which is totally different from the stuff in Boca Chica, where they're going to go up to Mars, which is totally different from the Falcon Heavy, which is putting the stuff on the long trips to Mars. So it's like 5 different programs that are all up and running at the same time. It's crazy.
It really is pretty amazing.
I mean, when you can say, okay, which one did they launch today? I'm behind. Just drive you nuts. This Boca Chica thing, did you see that little hop that they did the other day?
Yeah.
That's nuts. That's just crazy. Let's see. Let's see what Gary's neighbor's doing right now.
Is that a live cam?
That's a live cam from Boca Chica, way down south of Texas. It says Raptor 29 was installed on SN6, which is the serial number 6 block, Second launch stand was moved. Starlink 10 was launched. Do we know that? Booster landed. One fairing half caught. That's another crazy thing. Hey, those fairings cost money. You think you could catch them if we dropped them out of the sky on a boat?
Yeah. Put this big net on your trawler.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I got a great idea. Oh my!
The new engine that they're working with is
which new
quite
engine?
an interesting project in its own right because it's going to run on methane.
Which new engine? The one for this?
Or this will be for the I guess for the Mars shot.
That would be this then, yeah.
And the beauty of it is that it'll operate with one cooling system because the LOX and the methane are the same order of magnitude temperature.
Oh, really?
Anyway, there's quite a good YouTube on it. It's worth watching. It's over an hour long, but it's really pretty interesting. It's not the most powerful, and it's not it's just kind of a balance of all of the good properties that they need for interplanetary operation and fuel generation at Mars or at the moon or whatever. So it's really quite a good view. Sit and watch.
So methane reacts with what? How do they? I mean, what do they?
Say again.
They're cryogenic liquid methane is what it says, and liquid oxygen. So
Right.
it's cryogenic liquid, and you're saying those two are at the same temperatures?
They can be in the same cooling vessel as opposed to the kerosene LOX. They have disparate temperatures that they want to operate with for long flights where you have to maintain not have a lot of boil off, and of the extremes, at either extreme you have to have separate vessels, which means more complexity. But when you use the methane in LOX, you can considerably simplify the cooling system to keep the fuel and the liquid oxygen from boiling off. And a lot of considerations in it, and they are making very good progress with that new engine. So it's another thing that they're doing that's really brilliant in many ways.
Yeah, some chemist is sitting there going, I got a better idea. Sure you do. So they say this Raptor motor, this methane LOX thing is 2 times the thrust of the Merlin 1, and that's the engine that they have 9 of those on the Falcon that we just saw go up. So that Falcon uses 9 Merlins, and this Raptor is twice the thrust of a Merlin out of methane and liquid oxygen. Jeepers.
It basically all of its operational parameters are between the extremes of the other fuel systems. It's kind of a good average for everything. It's an interesting. There's I think the guy's the Angry Astronaut that put out a 1-hour presentation on that motor in comparison to the others. And it's a little bit long-winded, and it goes into a lot of charts and things. But
it keeps your head from going
bottom
poof.
line is the brilliance is in the fact that it balances everything very well.
Yeah. It says here that the long-term plan is that this methane Raptor, will replace all of the engines in the whole fleet eventually. I get it figured out.
I think the crux of it is remote fueling and fuel generation at Mars or at the moon. for the fuel depots that they're going to put in, and that is more doable than
The
any other
method,
technique.
you could generate methane out in space easier.
Yeah. So that's one of the considerations, one large consideration.
But they're getting twice the thrust out of that than the Merlin. So it can't be too wimpy. Wow.
But-
I hadn't seen that. Thanks.
Yeah, look up the Angry Astronaut on YouTube, and he has really a very good video on that.
Maybe Raptor. That's probably it. SpaceX Raptor engine, the king of rocket engines. Does that look like it?
No, I'm gonna go.
Okay. Ken, how long ago was that video done?
I don't remember.
Oh, that's this guy. I know that guy. Oh, that's Everyday Astronaut. Nope, that's a different guy.
That was yesterday's astronaut.
But he goes into, he looks at several aspects of, especially the flight to Mars, and the with reference to fuel and fuel considerations, and it's an interesting view.
Crazy. See that one they just put up? What was it? Probably a month ago. That's going to Mars. Perseus, I think it was. That one has a helicopter in it that they will actually fly on Mars to go get their stuff. Yeah.
Way.
Yeah, man, go get your weed. Yeah, get your weed on that one. See,
It's going to be like 90-second flights.
Oh, is it that short?
They're really short, but the blades have to really spin to get any bite. It might be 3 minutes. I don't know, but they're very short flights.
But it's not like let's
So
go to Dallas.
It'll hop and take a look anyway.
Perseverance, that's what it is. That's
The other experiment that they're doing is generating oxygen in that. On that mission.
Really? Out of
converting it from air, I guess air and whatever
the atmosphere is.
It's an experiment at extracting oxygen. So a lot of cool stuff, but There's a whole bunch of people going. We don't hear about the other countries and everything they're shooting very often.
Yeah, the one that I think is cool is the Chinese folks that put up the repeater behind the moon. They're on the backside of the moon, and they have a repeater out past the moon. Look at that little thing come down. But the repeater is out there past the moon, so they shoot the signals towards the repeater, and then the repeater pushes it back to Earth. The helicopter will drop on the Martian. This is crazy.
But if the moon's in the way,
no, it's off to the side. It's a parabolic. There's a parabolic spot you can be out there, then just sit there with no energy on the repeater satellite. Look at that. And that launched. That was last month. That's crazy. Wilbur and Orville are going to go, you did what? That's just nuts.
Yeah, did you all see the anniversary of Wiley Post and Will Rogers' death was like the 16th?
No.
Yeah.
What would that be for years now?
I'm not really sure what they said. Was it 75?
No idea. 35, 1935?
Yeah, it was in that time frame, and it was only 30 some odd years to the moon. From that to the moon.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Which is really amazing. And then how long have we been sending our astronauts on Russian rockets?
Yeah, 6 years, something like that.
I know.
Somebody didn't do some planning. Somebody missed a meeting. Let's see. Yeah, that's what's crazy is that I know my grandparents, my grandmother was born in, one of them was born in 1894 and the other one was born in 1910. And a grandfather was born in 1905 and 1891, I think it was. And I remember talking to those guys and I said, look, when you were kids, you know, what car did you take to school? And they just laughed and said, no, we didn't have cars. We didn't do that. So you took helicopters? No, we didn't have helicopters. In their lifetime, they went from no cars in the 1905, whenever that was done, to on the moon. And you think about that in history, that's never going to happen again. That crazy. You know, the fastest anybody had gone in 1900 was what? On a bicycle, maybe? What was that?
Well, there were plenty of
motorcycles. They had some motorcycles that would go a little bit.
There were people that went faster, especially the ones that fell off cliffs because of.
There's some motorized vehicles that would go 10 or 15 miles an hour.
Yeah. We're now running faster than that.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, really.
And now, you know, would we just sit there and watch a video of a spaceship taking off at thousands of miles an hour, and the rest of the world kind of goes, yeah, whatever. This is the space rover on the far side of the moon.
So they say.
So exactly. Allegedly. I still remember my grandmother said, we will never get to the moon. That is just crazy. And my dad back in 1960, whatever, 5 or 6, bet my grandmother a $25 dinner at some restaurant that we would get big time.
Big dinner back then.
Back then it was. And I remember her having to pay off, and she was ticked.
Dad did not believe they really went to the moon.
Oh, really? That's so
He wouldn't
sad.
buy it. He never. I don't know if he ever did or not, but he may have been pulling our chain too. But
yeah.
But the Earth's flat anyway, so all of this is hooey.
Yeah, that you got that going for you.
Yeah, I remember at 5 and 6 years of age sitting with my grandfather watching the Apollo stuff. So,
oh yeah,
you know, he was a lieutenant colonel. He fully believed that yes, we did. So
our people didn't. We lived on a farm. Our people didn't until Sputnik, and they were sitting outside and they could see Sputnik go overhead, and you could see it with the sun bouncing off of it at nighttime. And oh my gosh, that lit those guys up. Just, they talked about, back then that group called every satellite a Sputnik. We put up another Sputnik today. No, it's an Atlas V rocket, Grandma, and it does this and it doesn't. Yeah, one of them Sputniks went up. And I think we lived we were on the farm at, I think it was 5 or 6, and they've still got a recording of me. But my dad was in getting his PhD in St. Louis, and he'd come out on weekends, and he had a little tape player and tape recorder, and he recorded stuff. And one of the nights they said, "Well, what happened today, Mark?" And I said, Yuri died. And you can hear in the tape, you just hear Dad's head is spinning, going, "What the heck did he just say?" And he said, "Who's Yuri?" "Oh, it's our cow. We had a cow that was died." I had named all the cows after cosmonauts and astronauts, and that was all in the Apollo days, or the Gemini days. I guess Gemini. And Yuri died. We had to haul him back up on a trailer and haul him back out of there because he woke up dead, hoofs up.
I hope you still have those.
Yeah, still do. Yeah. Those are crazy. But yep, Yuri Gagarin was what his name was. And I remember my dad, he wasn't big into the space stuff. Science wasn't the biggest deal. But I remember he go, "Great. He names cows after cosmonauts. Isn't that wonderful?"
Well, see, there's your lead into the methane.
Yeah. There you go.
Ship Brahms to the moon, and there's your factory. You can name them all cosmonauts, and they'd fit right in.
Yep.
You started a trend at what age?
I was 5, so I'd been probably 65, somewhere in that range. Back in the day.
Well, I remember watching the moon landing in the day room in Papua New Korea.
Oh, really? So you got TV there?
Black and white, yeah.
Well, mine was black and white too when we first saw them.
Mm-hmm.
But we all sat in the day room. I think it was in the afternoon when we gathered around to watch it.
Huh. Yeah, I remember I'd be up in the morning and I knew when all that stuff was going off, and I'd, get up early to watch a launch. And I remember Mom would come out finally trying to find me, thought I'd run away or something. And I'd be down in the basement watching TV. "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh, it's going to launch." "How do you know this?" "Well, they told me yesterday." So I remembered. We watched the launch.
I remember going down to Canaveral, and we were there just at the right timing. We took the tour of the launch area, and the shuttle was already to the launch pad, and like we stayed on one of the causeways like for 3 or 4 more days to wait for it to actually launch.
Did you see it launch?
Oh yeah, yeah, we saw it.
Oh.
I have probably, I was able to put in about 6 rolls of 35 millimeter film in my Pentex that I had an auto winder on it, and it's almost like a movie with it going up.
Oh, cool. When would that have been? Was that
it would have been in like maybe 78, 79, 80, somewhere right in that area. Maybe 81.
Wow.
I don't think, no, I don't think I was probably in high school yet. So it would have been probably either 78 or 79. But yeah, we had a travel trailer, and this highway went out on this causeway, and we just parked perpendicular to the highway, backed it up to the north. We were on the south side of the base, and water out behind us. So in the mornings and late at night, we had gators floating around. And the day before the actual launch, or that afternoon, the day before the launch, people were really showing up in droves. I mean, it was bumper to bumper. You could maybe ride a bicycle down the causeway, but there was no cars getting in. We were one of the first ones there. So we were right smack in the middle. My dad goes, "This will be a great spot." Didn't realize it was going to take him 4 more days to get out, because it took that many days for everybody to get off the thing. We woke up the morning of the launch, and there were people sleeping underneath our trailer. They showed up and just in their car and walked and finally found a trailer that they thought, "Hey, this is a pretty comfortable setup. We'll just sleep under here." And my mom walked out and came back in. She said, "Mac, there's people sleeping under our trailer." Nice people. I mean, there wasn't any problem. I mean, it was just, they were there, and they had it was a couple, and they had 2 kids with them. And I think they were from they were up northeast, like in New York or New Jersey or something. And they drove down just to see this launch, and didn't realize how many people there were on the causeway. And they just basically said, "Well, we're not going to walk back to our car and stay there. We had a 5th wheel, and they just kind of set up a couple of lawn chairs underneath the neck of the 5th wheel and slept under the trailer."
Crazy. No, I haven't been down there for a launch. I haven't seen one of those. That would be amazing.
It was kind of interesting. I've got a book that they sold in the gift shop, and one of the gals that was giving us the tour, we'd take the bus around, and they would tell us all the different pads and what they were known for and stuff. And this one girl's father was pretty well up in the chain of command in control. And she brought this book home for him to look at. And it starts for like 2 weeks prior to a launch. And it's in just at this time, at this time, at this time, at this time. And what control is saying, what the crew is saying back and everything. And it actually gave diagrams of a lot of the control panels and what they had to actually push. He said that, it'd be a snowball in hell's chance that you'd happily live from it, but you could probably actually launch the damn thing reading this book. And he says, "I'm really amazed that somebody allowed them to actually print it." I think I
Sure, they
still
had-
have it. It was kind of interesting. She said that my dad was, studied it several times, and he says whoever they talked to knew what they were talking about, and published this book. And he said he didn't even know they had it published and it was for sale.
Huh.
And they were selling it right there in the gift shop there at Cape Canaveral.
Huh. Yeah, they've declassified, or whatever the word is, the software for Apollo, and it's out on GitHub.
Mm-hmm.
So you can actually see the code that was in all those programs. And I need to go pull that up here. But you think, oh, this is complex, go to the moon, rocket surgery kind of stuff, and no, it's pretty much not. It's let's see, Apollo.
No, we're gonna put you in this thing. We're gonna strap a whole lot of fuel and this rocket, and we're gonna turn it on and send you flying.
Yeah, let's see. There it is. Somebody scanned it and turned it into digital code, and then they went through and debugged the whole thing. But that's actually the whole code set.
Wonder how many errors they actually found.
Wouldn't that be? That's why I thought, man, it'd be fun to go recompile. It's all assembler, but to compile that stuff and then see what you could figure out where it would.
You'd have to pull out some old IBM.
Oh, they've got it. They've got compilers, emulators for all that stuff.
Yeah. Some
guys
retired and, honey, I think I found a reason to keep that computer.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got an old Nova, Weather Service Nova at the house, and I picked it up from Wichita. Ken Brown said, "We're getting rid of one. You want it?" I said, "Sure." So I picked it up and brought it home. And I got a call from Ken Brown in, I don't know, it's probably September of 1999. He said, "You still have that Nova?" I said, "Yeah." "Why?" Weather Service isn't sure their stuff is Y2K compatible. They're wanting to test it on something. He said, "I'll let them know you have it." I said, "I'll rent it back at a, nominal fee." And he laughed. And he said he called him and said, "I got a machine for you." And that somehow they just finally said, "Phooey, if it breaks, we'll fix it later. Don't worry about it." So they quit the test program and just said, "Good enough. We'll take off on it." But I thought that was kind of cool. 5 years later, whoops, wait a minute. We might want to test something. But yeah, that's all the source assembler stuff. And
I'm going to say goodbye. 73, everybody.
All right, Bill.
All righty, Billy. See you later.
Okay.
Have a good night. It's probably about time to do that.
Yeah, it's 10 after here.
Well, it is. It is. Randy, you still down at the casino?
I am.
I'm going to sign off as well.
All righty. See you later, sir.
Good night, all.